sports, home of the Olympic Games, the Premier League, NASCAR, the PGA Tour, and Primetime's #1 show, Sunday Night Football.
Welcome to Football Night in America on Thanksgiving night, presented by Walmart.
And we welcome you to Minnesota, where many a Thanksgiving dinner has been consumed around the Twin Cities. And the attention now turns to downtown Minneapolis and U.S. Bank Stadium. A sellout crowd of about 66,000 settling in for a tasty final course to this Thanksgiving 2022. Mac Jones, national champion at Alabama, trying to make the playoffs for a second NFL season with the Patriots, facing off with the veteran Kirk Cousins and the team tied for the second best record in the NFL, the 8-2 Minnesota Vikings, on a day and night we remember and celebrate the great John Madden. The NFL's inaugural John Madden Thanksgiving celebration continues. And good evening. Happy Thanksgiving. Mike Tirico, Hall of Famer Tony Dungy, Jason Garrett. We got the Football Night in America guys out here on the road
we love it.
to celebrate Thanksgiving. And we have spent many a Thanksgiving with you guys, especially you, Jason. You've been on my TV on so many Thanksgivings. Nice to be on TV with you this time around.
Thanks, Mike. It's great to be here. You know, I counted them up. I've had the opportunity to play or coach on Thanksgiving Day 22 times in my career. So grateful for all those memories. Football and Thanksgiving go together. So much fun to be here with you guys tonight. Really grateful.
It really does. I grew up in Michigan, so it was Lions football, then Thanksgiving dinner. And so for me, 2004, when I got to coach for the Colts on Thanksgiving in Detroit, it was just an unbelievable thrill. 109 tickets, Mike.
Have you paid for them all yet?
Not yet.
Well, they had a good game in Detroit that pitted the NFC North and the AFC East, and we have that here as the Vikings host the New England Patriots. Let's talk about Minnesota, because this is a team that was really feeling great about themselves, and then the Dallas game happened last Sunday. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But one thing, Jason, at their rise to the top of the division, we've seen the emergence of a superstar in Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, Mike, Justin Jefferson is arguably the best receiver in all of football. This guy has it all. He's got all the physical ability that you want, but it's much more than that. He's a fierce competitor. He plays with an amazing spirit. His hands and his playmaking ability are rare. Just ask the Buffalo Bills, and it's going to be fun for all of us to see what Coach Belichick has cooked up to try to slow him down tonight.
Well, speaking of Coach Belichick, it is not a world-beating offense, but it is a stifling defense. They've won 5 of the last 6. Really impressive in the last 2. And they have the NFL sack leader right now in Matthew Judon.
They do, and Matthew reminds me of those old-time linebackers from the Patriots, Willie McGinnis and Vrabel. He's big, he's strong, he's physical, and he's relentless, and he's got a lot of good players with him. They are a great defensive football team.
Bill Belichick effusive about Judon when we visited with him last night. Bill Belichick, a future Hall of Famer, coaching his 444th NFL game tonight. But today and tonight's really about a coaching Hall of Famer. And for more on that, a good evening and happy Thanksgiving to Melissa Stark.
Happy Thanksgiving, Mike. And yes, it has been such an incredible day celebrating John Madden. His memory has been everywhere. He is here on the field, on the logos, John Madden Thanksgiving logos. He's on the helmets of the players, and at every game today, a $10,000 donation will be made in the name of the John Madden Player of the Game, which will go to a youth football or high school program of their choice. And we love talking about John and the impact that he has had on the game. I met him 20 years ago when I was the sideline reporter for Monday Night Football, and there weren't many women covering the game at that time, and he welcomed me with open arms. We rode around in the Madden Cruiser, we watched film together, and we just had a ton of laughs. And he even coached me. When we had downtime, we would play pickup, and I was his cornerback. And I would not be here right now if it were not for his belief in me. So tonight, my friend, we honor you by combining all the things you've loved the most: family, football, and of course, turducken.
Making it extra meaningful when you hand out the legs to the MVPs at the end of the night, Melissa. When we come back, highlights of the early games. What a game in Detroit. Went down to the end, and the Cowboys are looking pretty good. Highlights of the early games as we continue.
Welcome back to Football Night in America on Thanksgiving night, presented by Walmart.
And if you give him a lane in there.
John Madden was a great personality, multi-talented, a great football coach, and I might add, a good friend to many of our people in our business. So on Thanksgiving Day, we got to remember John Madden,
See, you cut it like right down here.
one of the stalwarts of the National Football League Thanksgiving weekend.
They coached against each other in Super Bowl 11. John Madden and Bud Grant, 95 years old, recorded that for us on Tuesday. Very special. Thank you, Coach Grant. To the highlights of the early games. Tony, let's go to Detroit. Buffalo and the Lions, a terrific game. Down the stretch they come. Lions trying to tie the game or take the lead. They made 3 4th downs in this game.
Yes, I remember St. Brown on a sweep to keep the drive going here.
They couldn't convert on 3rd and 1, so it set up Michael Batchley, who earlier had missed from 29, from 51, just drops it in. Game is tied, but there's time for Josh Allen. You know what he can do with that. What's priority 1? Get it to Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, only 2 catches in the first half, but when they needed a play, you knew they were going to him. He makes the play, gets them in field goal position.
36 yards there. It sets up Tyler Bass. Missed an extra point earlier in the quarter from 45. Just sneaks it in. It turns out to be the game winner. And Tony, the Buffalo Bills go to Detroit. They win 2 games in 5 days.
I think they showed their mental toughness. Had that disappointing loss to Minnesota, win those 2 games. This sets up a big game next Thursday against New England.
You see where Miami and New England are chasing the division and the wild card as well. To the NFC, and Jason, let's go down to Texas for the Cowboys and the Giants, both 7-3 coming in. And in the 3rd quarter, down 6, Dak Prescott and the offense got cooking. Dalton Schultz there.
Yeah, the Giants were game early, 2 interceptions of Prescott, but Dak was fantastic in the second half, finding Schultz for the touch.
And how about CeeDee Lamb, highlight of the night?
How about that? Talk about spectacular. The one-handed catch against the helmet, something else.
And it sets up Schultz again to take it in. Tight end room had a big day for the Cowboys, 21-13. And now how about doing it on the ground? Peyton Hendershot, and he's going to end up with a moment to remember on Thanksgiving.
How about that? The tight ends were fantastic. Look at these guys. Taking a page out of Zeke's playbook.
Into the Salvation Army kennel. The Giants have lost 3 of 4. They've got to get their act together. But, Jason, that's 4 out of 5 for Dallas now.
The Cowboys showing they're one of the more complete teams. They've been great on defense all year long. The balance on offense is critical for them. Pollard and Zeke were fantastic.
It sets the table now for tonight, Act 3 of Thanksgiving 2022. The Vikings and the Patriots coming up from Minneapolis.